Hello and welcome back to Matt's Automotive Channel. I still do not have a new project car at this time. However, I do have a new project, and it's my wife's GT500. It recently developed a clunking noise that's detectable at higher speeds and higher gears, usually between 60, 70 miles an hour, maybe even higher. And in fifth and sixth gear, when you either push down on the accelerator or let off on the accelerator, when you transition from acceleration to deacceleration, you hear this clunk noise. And it's indicative of what you would expect if there was excessive play in the drivetrain. So anyway, I went ahead and put it up on the lift here, and I'll show you what I found. Okay, this is the underside of the GT500 here, and when I let off on the gas and hit the gas at freeway speeds, I hear a clunking noise, and it sounds like there's some kind of excessive play in the drivetrain system. This is what I've noticed here. Right now I got the brakes locked on the back. The transmission is in neutral, so this should spin freely, and the only thing that should stop the drive shaft is the differential, including backlash and that sort of thing. And this is the noise. It seems like that's a bit excessive. Backlash on this gear system is supposed to be 10 thousandths, and that seems like more than 10 thousandths of backlash. So I'll have to check into that and see what's going on. All right, the idea here is to check the backlash without having to take the diff cover off, at least at this point. I just kind of want to get an idea of how much play there is in it. And the theory behind this here is that the wheel is tied directly to the ring gear. So I know that there could be additional play in the splines from the axle to the ring gear, but it shouldn't be much. And in fact, that's something I'll check later to see if this test is really accurate. But anyway, what I did is I put the dial indicator about 4 inches out. It's an 8.8 inch rear end, so this would be about the same distance as if I were checking it from the ring gear itself. And the drive shaft is locked at this point, so this little bit of play here would be what I would think would be the backlash. And what I'm experiencing here is about 50 thousandths, which is definitely about 5 times more than the 10 thousandths that is the spec on this rear end. Yeah, you can see that's a considerable amount of play there. And I'll go underneath the car too, and then check it from the drive shaft side as well. All right, now I have it set up here on the other side, on the drive shaft side or on the pinion side. I realize that the distance from the center out here is probably not quite 4.4 inches. However, if it's closer in towards the center, I should have measure less movement. So anyway, this is what I found here. As you can see, I'm still seeing about 6 thousandths, I'm sorry, 50 to 60 thousandths of play here, and that just is too much. So something's definitely going on in the rear end. So I guess the next step here is I'm going to have to go ahead and pull the diff cover, and we'll take a look and see what's going on inside. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to remove this panhard bar to get the diff cover off every time I've done gear work before I've removed it, because I was either changing gears or doing something a little more involved, but we'll see. All right, there it comes. All right, and I find it best to leave a bolt in the top as you break this loose. That way this doesn't fall. So I guess now we're going to see if this will come off without the panhard bar being removed. I'm not sure. that top bolt out. And yes, no problem at all. There we go. All right, this is very interesting. We now have it set up here to measure the backlash, and when I do that, you can see we have 10 thousandths right where we're supposed to be. So where is all this additional slop coming from? As you see, we can still turn the drive shaft a considerable amount, but it's actually moving the ring gear, so that's not part of the backlash. So that tells us that the axles, maybe the splines have quite a bit of play in them. So anyway, we'll check further into that and see what's going on. All right, right now I have the rear axles locked, and now I can move the pinion back and forth and observe the play. And you'll see that it looks like this additional play here is coming from the spider gears. You can see, let's see if I can get this lined up here a little better. Right there's the spider gear. So I think it's just the slack that's in the spider gears that's allowing that additional travel, and that's pretty much the clunking. And you can see a little bit of movement there in the pin. All right, I went ahead and pulled the cross pin here, and as you can see, it's not a real tight fit inside this differential here. And most of the slop that I'm seeing is basically just from the gears. All right, so there is a little bit more movement without the cross pin in there. However, with the cross pin in there, these gears, there's no relative motion between the spider gear and the housing here, which you're seeing. However, it still has some slop between the spider gears and the side gears. All right, now with the cross pin back in, you can see when I do this, there's no movement here between this differential housing here and the spider gear, because the pin's going in right from the top here, and it's keeping the spider gear in the same position as this housing. But you can see that there's still motion here, and basically it's slack between this spider gear and these side gears. And you even see a little bit of motion here on the side, which would indicate maybe a little bit of play in the splines. So from what I can tell, this is just operating normally the way that it should, unless there shouldn't be this much play between the spider gears and the side gears. So that's something I'll check into and see if there's any information on that. If not, I guess I'm just gonna have to assume that this is normal. All right, after doing a little bit more research on this, I found that the clutch packs, which are in the sides here behind these side gears here, as they wear, the side gears will be pushed in by this S-spring here. And as the gears move apart from one another, it leaves more space between the side gears and the spider gears. So as the clutch packs wear, you're gonna see more and more play like this in the spider gears. So I think this is probably normal as those clutch packs wear. I'm debating now whether I should just go ahead and pull this apart and replace the clutch packs and see if it takes care of that. I don't believe I have any issue with the limited slip at this point, but maybe those clutch packs are getting near the end of their life. This car has about 55,000 on it. So anyway, I'll do a little bit more checking into that and let you know. All right, so anyway, at this point, I'm pretty convinced that that play in the spider gears is the result of worn clutch packs. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an order in for some new clutch packs, and I'll end this video here. And when I get all the parts, I'll create a part 2 to this video. So anyway, till then, I'll see you next time. Thanks.